Hari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Go. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भय चरणविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की व्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamischa He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to thank all the devotees. Welcome to the ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Sorry. So I'm grateful to all of you for uh, giving me an opportunity to serve. Especially thanks to Srivas Pandit Prabhu for giving me some opportunity to serve all of you. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says in one of his songs, Deha smriti nahi jar, samsara bandhana kahan tar. If a person is not conscious of this body, Deha smriti nahi jar, a person who does not have remembrance of this body as self, samsara bandhan kahan tar. Where is the bondage of samsara or the repetition of birth and death for such a person? So, this smriti, remembrance, is actually plays a very significant role in our life, in every aspect of our life. Now, remembrance and forgetfulness, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mataha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am the one who provides smriti, the remembrance, the knowledge, as well as forgetfulness. So smriti and apohanam, remembrance and forgetfulness, these are the two very significant aspects of life in this material world. Because certain kind of remembrance and certain kind of forgetfulness entails a living entity to continue in the cycle of birth and death or be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So it all really depends on remembrance, smriti, what we remember and what we forget. It's interesting. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangas Teshu Upajayate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibramha Smriti Brahmishat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So in these two verses, Krishna explains the path of ruination, how a person is destroyed or glides down to the hellish condition of life. It begins with dhyana, dhyayato vishayan pumsa. When a person starts contemplating on the objects of sense gratification, that naturally leads to dhyayato vishayan pumsa, sangas, the attachment developed for the objects of sense enjoyment. Suppose you are contemplating that I should have a particular model of car, or I should have home in a certain area in Bay Area. So it begins with contemplation, right? And as long as you are contemplating, you are happy. But when the moment you have the thing, the anxiety begins, right? That's the nature of this world. Contemplation gives you some happiness, but actually having the thing begins the misery. When a girl and boy, they are thinking, oh, we love each other. When we get married, we'll be so happy. As they are contemplating, they are happy. They get married, the misery begins. And the smile on many faces indicates that's a reality. So, the attachment leads to Sanga Sanjayate Kama, the great desire to enjoy the objects. And Sanga Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodho Vijayate. And when the Kama is fulfilled or unfulfilled, in either cases, it leads to Krodha, the anger. And Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha. Delusion arises when a person becomes angry. And in the delusion, Krishna says, Smriti Vibhrama. One's memory, one's remembrance is lost when a person is deluded. And the natural consequences of vismriti or forgetfulness is one loses one's intelligence. Now, how do we understand the loss of memory makes a person lose intelligence? When I used to live in New Vrindavan, we had a department there for prison preaching in the prison department. So I used to get a lot of letters from the prisoners, So there was one devotee, one of Prabhupada's disciple, who used to take care of that. So he used to show me letters many times. So people who actually would become devotees in prison, they would reveal their heart by writing the letters to these devotees. So I read many of those letters, and most of the letters you will see the person, he will reveal that, I got so angry in a moment and I completely forgot what I'm doing, and I ended up doing some crime, and here I am in the prison. Most of the cases like that. So when people get angry, they get deluded, they forget what will be the consequences of this. This vismriti is actually the cause of bondage. So in this case, you can say the bondage in the prison house, but this is also a universal principle how we are bound in the material existence. Smriti, when the smriti is lost, a person loses one's intelligence. This intelligence is spoiled. And when a person's intelligence is spoiled, one will do any crazy thing. Unintelligent acts generally lead to ruination. So it's actually such a significant aspect of our life, remembrance. In every act of our life, we remember what I'm doing, why I'm doing, what is the ultimate goal of my actions, where will it lead me to. But the forgetfulness of all of that leads to very irresponsible life. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung a very beautiful song. He says, Bhuliya tumhare samsare asiya Vainana vidha vyatha. Is my Lord, forgetting you, bhuliya tumhare samsare asiya. The natural result of forgetting you, I have come to this material world, and after coming to this material world, I suffer so many miseries, so many varieties of distress I go through. Material world is characterized by the bitter struggle for existence. So coming to material world, the basis is actually vismriti, forgetting our constitutional position. And as long as we remain in that forgetfulness, we continue to transmigrate in this bhavasagar, in the cycle of birth and death. And therefore, the scriptures give us direction to come out of that forgetfulness. In fact, the process of karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti, all of these primarily try to bring us out of that forgetfulness. That's the only purpose. Nowadays, especially, there are so many places all over the world, the yoga classes, right? People think the purpose of yoga is to become healthy, prolong my life, become free from diseases. No, but the real purpose of that yoga also is to bring us out of forgetfulness. And this forgetfulness is actually the foundation of our distress and miseries. We can go on discussing so many examples how forgetfulness actually brings distress in our life. Something comes to my mind almost 13 years back when I used to be living in New Vrindavan. That time, I remember one devotee couple visited from Chicago area. And this lady, she had given birth to a baby, maybe within last few months. And she and her husband were sitting with me, and she was telling me that I'm having such severe pain in my knees, So, and I went to the doctors, and doctors gave some steroids, and that relieved me of the pain for maybe a couple of weeks, but then the pain came with much, much more intensity with so many other side effects of steroids. So of course, I remembered from my childhood, in our family, because I grew up in a joint family, so I had seen my mother or my elderly aunts, whenever some lady would give birth to a child in the family, the lady would have ankle pain, the knee pain, very severe knee pain, and the home remedy that was used, was generally the different dry fruits you mix together with edible gum, make a powder, and eat that every day, 2-3 times in a day. So I told her, you try this, probably, this will help you. And she tried, and she called me after a week, said, Prabhu, I just tried this, and in just 2-3 days, my pain is gone. So you see, if I don't remember, I wouldn't have remembered, I wouldn't tell her, the misery will continue. Even small home remedies, if you remember what my parents used to do, you can actually save from so much trouble and miseries, and distress, right? But the ultimate misery, atyantika dukkha nivriti, depends on actually coming out of our forgetfulness of our constitutional position, who we really are. So we're talking about this different yoga, especially this modern yoga system. So people generally know that Patanjali is the propounder of that yoga system. But actually the Puranas describe the Supreme Lord is the original propounder of even that yoga system. In his different incarnation, his different Leelas, the Lord actually demonstrates what is the purpose of yoga. So, in Shiv Purana, there is a beautiful demonstration of this process of yoga. The real purpose of the process of yoga, the Ashtanga yoga we are talking about, is to actually bring living entity out of his forgetfulness. So this is described in Shiv Purana, that once there is a particular garden where Mother Parvati likes the flowers from that garden very much. So Lord Shiva told Mother Parvati that I'm going to visit that garden, and she was not going with him. So she said, all right, my Lord, when you are going, can you make sure that you bring some flowers from that garden for me? And Lord Shiva said, sure enough. But the ladies, they know, men sometimes forget. Of course, he's Lord Shiva, he cannot forget, but the men forget, especially when the wives gives, if they give just one item, then he may or may not forget. But they give list of items, then you are sure to forget if you don't write down. But anyway, so Mother Parvati told Lord Shiva, can you bring those flowers for me? Lord Shiva said, sure enough, I'll bring the flowers. So she casually said, but if you forget, if you don't bring the flowers for me, she didn't say if you forget, because she knows Lord Shiva will not forget. She said, if you don't bring the flowers to me, then I will wipe out all my memories of you. Now, it's not like you or me saying something like that. We even try to wipe somebody's memories. You tell your husband, I'll wipe your memories. You cannot. But if Mother Parvati says something, it is serious business. So anyway, Lord Shiva goes to that garden. First thing he does is pick some flowers, and Lord Shiva is wearing always charma, right? That deer skin he's wearing or tiger skin he's wearing. So he has a small pouch, he puts the flowers in the pouch. Okay. And when he's returning to Kailash, on the way, he meets Indra Prabhu, Purandar, the king of heavenly planets. And Indra, somehow that he happens to misbehave, and that enrages Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva becomes very angry. He almost opened his third eye to destroy Indra. But Brihaspati comes and he says, "My Lord, please. He's my disciple, please forgive him." So Lord Shiva says, "All right," he forgives. And Lord Shiva returns to Kailash. Now Mother Parvati says, "My Lord, where are my flowers?" He said, "Yes, I have brought them." So Lord Shiva puts his hand inside the pouch, and when he's taking out, the flowers, because of his anger, burn to ashes. So all he gets is ashes out. And Lord Shiva said, "No, actually I put the flowers." She said, "But my Lord, I told you, if you don't bring me flowers, I will wipe out all my memories of you." And this time, Mother Parvati already has Ganesha, Kartikeya, all the children are there. But because she promised, because she made a statement, all her memories of Lord Shiva were wiped out. So she returns back to her father's home, Himavan. And she starts living there as a maiden, unmarried girl. And Lord Shiva, Ganesh, Kartikeya think what to do now, right? She's in forgetfulness. She has completely wiped out the memory. So this is of course Leela of the Lord, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. Lord Shiva is Guna Avatar of the Lord. So he's demonstrating through this Leela, when you go in forgetfulness, there are different ways to come out of forgetfulness. So Lord Shiva takes the role of a yogi and goes to teach yoga to Mother Parvati. The Ashtanga Yoga process was initiated by Lord Shiva through this particular Leela to demonstrate how to come out of forgetfulness through the process of yoga. Okay, so he's teaching the different, yama, niyama, all the 8 limbs of yoga: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. And Mother Parvati is making progress. So sometimes she's getting glimpse that the life that I'm living as the daughter of my father doesn't seem to be reality. I have some better reality. So little by little she's trying to come out of that forgetfulness. But it's actually an interesting fact that this Vismriti or forgetfulness also has a presiding deity. Like we understand from Vedas, right? Everything has a presiding deity. Like this earth has a presiding deity of Bhumi Devi, right? So when Krishna was about to appear, Bhumi Devi took the shape of a cow and went to Brahma and prayed, and then they went to Shirasagar, right? So similarly, everything, every river has a presiding deity, like Ganga, Yamuna. They are actually personalities. Every ocean has a presiding deity. So, even the forgetfulness has a presiding deity called Apasmara. Does anyone hear about the word Apasmara before? People from Maharashtra might have heard. In Ayurveda, if anyone is an Ayurvedic physician, they will know as well. Because in Ayurveda, there is a disease called Apasmara. So, this Apasmara is actually the presiding deity. He's a demon who was given benediction that he cannot die. His lifespan will be equal to lifespan of Brahma. So, as long as Brahma lives, he will continue to live. So, no fear of death. No. And he has only one function. single mode function of making people or every living entity in this creation forgetful. That is his only function. So when Lord Shiva is trying to bring Mother Parvati out of forgetfulness, apasmara, he attacks the smritis, the memories of Mother Parvati. Now, of course, Mother Parvati is personified, material energy. She is not subjugated by any demon or apasmara and all. Nobody can affect her. But this is just a Leela to demonstrate or teach living entities in the material world. So, he's trying to overpower the memories of Mother Parvati, that she should not come out of forgetfulness. So Lord Shiva confronts him that why you are troubling my task, I am trying to bring her out of forgetfulness. And he said, that is my job, and you cannot kill me. Lord Shiva said, yes, I know I cannot kill you. I am fully aware that you have benediction, but I can subdue you. He said, no, you cannot subdue me. Nobody can subdue me. And that's a reality. Actually, apasmara cannot be subdued. You see, just try to imagine. From childhood, we have worn so many different colors and designs of dresses. Do you remember all of them? We forget. What kind of foods you have eaten. Just forget about from childhood. Even this is just 7th, today is 7th, right? 7th January. If I had to ask you, what did you eat from 1st January in breakfast, lunch and dinner every day? You have to exercise your brain, right? We forget. Everything is forgotten. So this is the task of apasmara, to make us forgetful, So, he told Lord Shiva, you cannot subdue me. Lord Shiva said, yes, I can. And then Lord Shiva started his graceful dance, not Tandava dance, started his graceful dance. And of course, Lord Shiva, he is a Vaishnava. He will not dance unless there is a kirtan. Okay? So in the kirtan, he started dancing. And Lord Shiva is dancing so gracefully that apasmara, not even able to stand, he loses his balance and falls to the ground. And Lord Shiva starts trampling him while dancing under his feet. So if you have seen, those of you who have seen Nataraj Murti of Lord Shiva, he has some demon under his feet. That is apasmara. So this actually gives us a very significant lesson. Those who do yoga, it's okay. But those who come in the kirtan and dance, they actually start trampling this apasmara under their feet. So whenever the kirtan is going on, don't just stand on the corner. Actually start dancing. That's the best way to come out of forgetfulness. So if you really want to practice the real form of yoga, which actually helps us to come out of forgetfulness, just come in front of deities and dance in the kirtan. The dancing destroys the vismriti, or forgetfulness that we have imbibed, that is carrying us from one life to another life. In fact, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami also mentions one of the best anga of deity worship is to dance in front of the deities in jubilation. Because here the Lord, Shri Radha Madan Mohan and Mahaprabhu and Shri Lakshmi Narasimhadev, they are sakshat there in front of us. So when their names are being sung and you are expressing the joy by dancing, that immensely pleases them. And when they are pleased, they can easily bring us out of our forgetfulness. No. So apasmara was subdued by Lord Shiva simply by dancing in kirtan. But for this age of Kali-yuga, the most sublime and wonderful process to come out of that vismriti or forgetfulness is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because in this Kali-yuga, none of the other processes of karma and jnana are actually, or even dhyana, is actually possible to be practiced. Because dhyana requires prolonged practice of meditation, which was possible only in Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga. In modern times, it's not possible. And especially for dhyana also, one has to leave home. As Krishna explains, Shucho Deshe Pratishtapam. One has to actually go to Shucho Deshe, go to a sanctified place in the forest. You cannot practice that in cities. Especially when you are trying to do pranayama and the cars are passing by exhausting fume, you inhale all the fume inside. That is not, that's actually kind of a mockery of yoga practice. But chanting of the holy name is one of the simplest process to come out of vismriti or forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali-yuga, we have the process of Harinam or chanting the holy names of the Lord, which brings us out of that vismriti. It's actually very interesting in this world because of the Deha Smriti, as Narottam Das Thakur explains, because of being conscious of this body, we actually tune our body to different modes of material nature. And we develop intent desires according to those three modes. And our smriti actually is very much geared towards satisfying those desires. The process of living entities conditioning is partly described in Bhagavad Gita, and of course Srimad Bhagavatam elaborates on that. The living entity once develops certain conditioning by the three modes, develops desires according to those three modes. And Krishna, who is seated in our heart as Paramatma, he has only two functions, as Krishna says in Gita, Upadrishta, Anumanta. He is our well-wisher, He is accompanying us simply for fulfilling our desires. He is our best friend. When the living entity falls to the material world, the Lord accompanies him, each and every individual living entity. He accompanies them as a loving friend, as a kind friend to fulfill their desires. So Krishna is there seated with us in our heart as Paramatma with only one purpose. He wants to fulfill our desires. He wants to make us happy. But unfortunate condition is that because we have developed contamination or infection with the three modes, our desires are all contaminated by the three modes. And therefore we seek happiness as per the three modes. And Lord is seated, Paramatma, He is just trying to guide us. Okay, you want to fulfill this desire? Okay, then you should do this, this, this. He guides us what we should do. So if we are infected with the mode of goodness, then He gives us guidance. Okay, you should live like this, this, this to fulfill your desires. If our desires are pertaining to the mode of passion, then He guides us. This is what you should do. Worship different demigods to become powerful and fulfill all your desires. No. So, in the bodily concept of life, we have so many desires, and Krishna provides smriti and forgetfulness simply to fulfill those desires. So we have to be actually very careful what we desire. Because our smriti and vismriti is very much dependent on what we desire. What kind of desires we develop. Just like, look at children. They will remember exactly what you don't want them to remember. Right? And what you want them to remember, they will easily forget it. Because they have their own desires. Right? One time, just an anecdote that one time one devotee, esteemed devotee, is invited to somebody's home for dinner. And that home, the lady has a son, So a few days before this invitation, the son had some pain in the stomach. So he said, "Mom, I'm having a lot of pain." She said, "Yes, because you don't have anything there. So if you put some food there, put something there, then you will not have pain." So after a few days, this devotee is invited. And says, he comes for the dinner, he says, "Mataji, I'm having a lot of headache, pain in the stomach." The boy immediately says, "Yes, because you don't have anything there." What he heard from mother, right? You put something there, then you will be all right. So children, they will remember exactly what you don't want them to remember. But they also have their own desires. And we develop the desires by our association. What we associate with, we develop desires accordingly. So, in order to have the smriti or remembrance of the Lord, as Krishna says in Gita, because that's the only key to get out of this material existence. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajantante kalevaram. Krishna says, with whatever remembrance you leave this world, that state you will attain without fail. So what smriti we will have at the time of death is very much dependent on what life we have lived, what kind of people we have associated with, what kind of desires we have developed. Because Krishna says, right? Mata smritir jnanam apna. I provide the remembrance and forgetfulness, but he provides forgetfulness and remembrance based on our desires. So, the key is still with us. Remembrance is not in our control. Forgetfulness is not in our control. But the key for remembrance and forgetfulness is still in our control. The desires. What kind of desires we develop. So a devotee has to learn to desire appropriately. That's the only responsibility we have. When we develop material desires, sometimes devotees think, well, I'm practicing Krishna consciousness. Yes, we have to go back home, back to God. But the meantime, I want to fulfill 1, 2, 3. These desires as well. Well, I will, strive for going back home, back to God. But I want to have a nice home. I want to have, nice bank balance so that I can retire peacefully and live peacefully, in the final days, so that I can remember Krishna. In the meantime, let me remember bank balance, right? But we forget that none of the things of this world actually help us to remember Krishna and get out of this material existence. In fact, everything that we possess in this world, with the idea of enjoying it, it only becomes hindrance in attaining the ultimate end of our life, the ultimate goal of our life. Yeah. I remember once His Holiness Chandramali Maharaj was giving a nice example. He said, one time one person, he went to the forest and he found huge container of gold filled with gold coins. He was a poor villager. He didn't have any money. So he saw, oh my God, such huge quantity of gold. Golden pot filled with gold coins. So he got scared. If I take this to village, some thief or some rogue may take away. So immediately dig a hole in the ground in the forest, put all the pot inside, the big pot inside, covered it with dirt, and put a landmark so that he knows where he had buried, right? It's like banking password, right? Login ID and password. So he put the landmark. And then he went home. So he went home, he slept in the night, he was thinking, will my money be there? Will my money be there? He used to have peaceful sleep, but now because he has bank account with huge money, so he becomes filled with anxiety. Will my money be there? So morning, immediately he goes to the forest again. Removes the dirt, everything is there. Buries it, puts the landmark, again goes away. This became his daily ritual. Every day he would come, open, and everything is there. Put it back. Like, we log in and see, oh, my account, this much money is there. So every day he tried to log in and watch. So similarly, he was every day go and watch, what is my bank balance? Is everything there? So one day one villager saw, a hacker saw that, oh, this person is going every day to the forest. So he secretly followed him. You have to, no matter what form of money you keep, there will be always some hackers. So he followed him secretly behind, and this person he dig up, and the person from the bushes saw, wow, so much money. And when this person buried everything and went away, what he does? He has login ID password. So he just went, dig up everything, took away all the money, put some big boulder there, just to give him surprise, he just put some stones there and buried it. And went away. So next day the person comes, he opens the pit and he sees only stones and he starts crying, I lost all the money, I lost all the money. So some saintly person was passing by. Some sadhu was passing by. He said, why you are crying, sir? Then he narrated the whole thing, how he found the wealth and he lost it. Without using a single coin, he lost everything. So saintly person asked him, okay, tell me one thing. When did you find this wealth? Well, maybe a month ago. Did you use any coin from that? No, I didn't use it. So what was making you happy? Coming and seeing every day? See, so you're not using anyway, right? Now also you might come and look at the stones and think that this is your wealth and go back, but you're not using anyway, right? So people don't realize or don't try to contemplate or remember, I may have a lot of wealth or may have a lot of possessions, how much I'm using. I may have 10-bedroom home. I'm still sleeping in one bedroom. Not that one leg is in one room, another leg in another room. Right? I'm still sleeping in the one room. Right? I have only burden of cleaning it, because the home gets dirty, you have to get clean. Right? So this Vismriti or Smriti for sense enjoyment is actually the foundation of one's misery and continuation of repetition of birth and death. So therefore we have to learn to desire based on the remembrance. Remembrance the message of Bhagavad Gita. As Krishna says in Gita, our real identity is not this body. This body is just an external covering. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grhanti naru. This is the dress we have which we keep changing. So this life itself is not all in all. The duration of life, 70, 80 or 100 years I may live, that's not everything. It's just one chapter in my eternal life. No. And whether in this life I have a lot of facility for sense enjoyment or no facility for sense enjoyment, doesn't matter. I still have the key to get out of the material existence by developing appropriate desires, to remember Krishna, to love Krishna, to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is actually a very sublime principle. If we want to remember Krishna at the time of death, we have to learn to desire appropriately. So at this point, I would think we can start having reflections, as is a tradition here, right? So, anyone would like to start with reflection? Shivas Pandit Prabhu, please. Do we have mic? Here.
Shankarananda Prabhu, thank you so much for a very nice class. It was amazing, and we still are continuing with the class. Because I have seen people say that as if the class is over. No, we're still continuing the class. But thank you. The very fact that you said that our desires determine our remembrance and forgetfulness, that was a very powerful point. That's the takeaway point for today. And so that really nice point you made. So thank you for that. Yeah. It was a nice that's a reflection I had, Shankarananda Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
It's on. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice story of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. It makes it so easy to understand the power of forgetfulness. And yes, we don't remember even the food that we ate in the last week. So the Apsamara is really, really strong. But simply by dancing in kirtan, we can get that remembrance of the Lord. So it's very, very practical. And I really like the example of the prisoner that you mentioned, that how can loss of memory lead to loss of intelligence. But as prisoners recollect, when we get angry, we lose the memory and we cannot think of the consequences, which is the function of intelligence, to be aware of the consequences. So that's very practical, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Actually, that reminds me, Prabhupada often quotes in his lectures Prema Vivarta, one of the verses from Prema Vivarta by Jagadanand Pandit. Pishachi paile yena mati channahai maya grasta jivera sei dasha upajoy. Prabhupada quotes this very often in the lectures. So this verse is from Jagadanand Pandit's Prema Vivarta. This says, Pishachi paile yena mati channahai. Pishachi means ghost. So when a person is haunted by the ghost, Pishachi paile yena mati channahai. A person's mati, one's remembrance or smriti is actually spoiled. He starts behaving like a person who's haunted. You can imagine the way they behave, the talk, everything is crazy. So this word says, Pishachi paile yena mati chana. Just like a person behaves mad when he's haunted by the ghost, Maya grasta jivera sei dasha upajoy. A person who is under the influence of Maya behaves exactly like that. So you see, in this world, people who are in the bodily concept of life, which is most of the population, they think this body is actually me. And they behave as per body. Just like a haunted person, he behaves completely differently. He thinks I am something different, like a ghost, and he behaves accordingly. So similarly, a person who's under influence of Maya, he behaves like a ghostly haunted person. And interestingly, as I was talking about Ayurveda, apasmara. Apasmara is a disease which is caused by vata, air. And interestingly, the ghostly beings, they haunt living entities through vata. It's actually very interesting. It's through the air the ghostly beings enter in the body. When the people have contaminated consciousness, the life airs are imbalanced, and ghostly beings can actually figure out that, okay, this person has very disturbed mind. They can enter through the nostril or through the breathing and actually haunt the person. So apasmriti or forgetfulness in Ayurveda is actually considered as a wind disease, which is actually manipulated by the ghostly beings. So that's very appropriate. Forgetfulness it actually makes a person behave like a madman. Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for Haribol Mataji.
Hare Krishna, really nice class. I was wondering what happened to Parvati.
Oh, yes.
That's the first time I've ever heard that story.
Yes. So actually, by the effort of Lord Shiva, Apasamara was subdued, and through the practice of yoga, Mother Parvati was actually brought out of forgetfulness, and she again reunited with Lord Shiva and the family of Ganesh, Karthik, and everyone.
Thank you. One of the things I wanted to just say is that when we have forgetfulness, that's why it's so important, chanting of the holy name. And Lord Chaitanya said there's no hard and fast rules for chanting this holy name, and it should be done. And Srila Prabhupada said the more we chant, then the more we'll remember Krishna. And he would repeat, chant and be happy. And he also said, always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Actually, that reminded me of one beautiful point. You see, in this world, if somebody is, due to some accident or some brain shock, forgets, cannot recognize his relatives or anyone, what generally the psychiatrists or doctors recommend for such a person? What is the way of reviving that person's memory? Constantly? Show the pictures, keep the person in the environment where he used to spend a lot of time, let him be around the people whom he used to love very much, right? That is the way, natural way of bringing the person out of forgetfulness, right? So no wonder hearing and chanting Krishna's glory is recommended, because we have forgotten. We are eternally connected with Krishna, but we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. The more we hear, the more we keep, contemplating on Krishna's activities, the more easily it becomes easy for us to come out of that forgetfulness. So thank you very much, Mataji. That's actually so appropriate. The chanting of the holy name or hearing Krishna's pastimes is actually trying to remember what we are connected with originally. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. When you were talking about how easy it is to forget spiritual life, but also how easy it is to be constantly haunted by material life, I was wondering if you could speak more on that, especially since if chanting is the way we can remember spiritual life. I don't think that detachment necessarily means that we forget material life, but where does material life really fit into this puzzle?
Well, material life or the spiritual life, they all are rooted on the natural constitution of the jiva, which is anandamaya abhyasa. We all seek happiness. Like Srila Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So the process is actually to be happy. And that is what the jiva's constitution is. We want to be happy. There is no question of living entity ever giving up desire for being happy. That's not possible, because that's our constitution. Krishna is Satchid Ananda Vigraha, and so are we. We are also Satchid Ananda. We are minute, part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, we also inherit that nature of seeking pleasure always. But in conditioned state, we seek pleasure through the infection of three modes. And that is the problem. Even seeking pleasure in the mode of goodness is also binding. It keeps us, the living entity, bound in the material existence. What to speak of passion and ignorance. So, the spiritual life or sadhana bhakti is somehow they're trying to mold our desires in such a way that all our desires are transferred, not overnight, but gradually transferred, as Krishna says in Gita. It doesn't say sarva dharman paritya in the beginning. He goes gradually there. At some place Krishna also says yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadashi. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give away, keep me in the center of that. So sadhana bhakti is, we start from there. We try to bring Krishna in everything we do. So I like to eat gulab jamun, so I make gulab jamun and offer to Krishna, okay, and then eat it sumptuously, no problem. But the goal is that on the day of Ekadashi I'm fasting and I can still make gulab jamun for Krishna, so that Krishna can eat and let others enjoy. I don't eat. No. So that is the process of bhakti. Bhakti is actually to gradually, whatever desires we have, bring Krishna in the center and slowly and gradually, do everything that is pleasing to Krishna. Now, since we are in the material world since time immemorial, our heart is filled with innumerable desires. And therefore, you see, even after practice of sometime 15, 20, 30 years of practice, some weird desires come up. And you wonder, where did this desire come from? I never thought of something like this. And sometimes, it may be very obnoxious, unimaginable desire, which a devotee will be ashamed to even reveal to anyone, right? The desires come like that. Because these desires are like an ocean, which is there in our subconscious mind. Now, can you empty the ocean? Can we empty the ocean? No, right? So this ocean of desires. You take all the pumps that are created in the world and connect them to ocean. Do you think you can do any significant amount of change in the level of the ocean? No. It's an ocean. But you can empty the ocean. Can you think of something? What is the way of emptying the ocean? What happens in the time of devastation? Sun. The sun becomes 12 times hotter and starts evaporating the ocean. So if we bring the sun of the holy name, Krishna, within our heart, he will dry up the entire ocean. So we may have ocean of desires, material desires, but all we need to do is just bring somehow the brilliant sun of Krishna. He will evaporate all the material desires. So we don't have to worry about, I have this desire, that desire. Let the desire be there. So devotee is not like a monist or impersonalist. I want to be free and clean. No, let me be dirty. I want to bring Krishna in my life. That's it. So that love for Krishna is something that evaporates our heart from all the dirty desires, from all the material desires. So that's the wonderful and sublime nature of this Krishna consciousness, that it is focusing on not to free us from the desires or contamination. To become pure is not our goal. To become Krishna conscious is our goal. Hope that makes sense, Mother. Haribol. Anyone else? Yes, Mother.
Also, to use the material, whatever we have, in service of Krishna, dovetail, whatever, just like we're using these microphones. They're material, but we use them to serve Krishna. Mm. So whatever we have, we can use to serve Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Madani. Yes, Shamrup.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thanks for such a nice and inspiring, very, very wonderful, sweet class. I was just wondering that in our condition, disease state, this bismriti seems to be like a nectar, and the actual smriti seems like a very, very tough and foreign thing. So how to flip that? Because of this,
Very beautiful observation. The Vismriti appears to be nectar, Yes, I remember Shyamanand Prabhu generally used to say, when you chant Hare Krishna, you are chanting your 16 rounds. Every round you chant, you are looking for that that Guru Mani, where is that? Why is Maharaj not getting over? Why this round is taking so long, like Yoga Yatam Nimeshen? That is true. It is because the living entity has misconstrued an idea that I can actually be happy because of being separate from the Supreme Lord. So this state of consciousness that I can actually be happy and I will be happy without Krishna is actually the basis of that nectar appearing to be poison and poison appearing to be nectar. Just like, we were talking about Pishachi paile yena mati channahe, when a person is ghostly haunted, So it is not actually the person who is haunted, he feels that his haunting is a good condition. But it's the ghost which is actually making him appear that the condition is actually nice. And if any effort is made to remove the ghost, there is a tremendous opposition, right? So similarly, because the living entity is Maya Grasta, is conditioned by the three modes of material nature, because of the conditioning of three modes, he thinks the desires which I have developed through the three modes of material nature to enjoy this world, that is the ultimate fulfillment of my life. Of course, gradually everyone realizes after the fulfillment of those desires that those desires were actually insignificant. Like, we know the example of Chitraketu Maharaj. Not Chitraketu. Yeah, Chitraketu Maharaj. He was thinking that my life will be successful if I could have a son who could inherit my kingdom. Now, this is the typical example how the conditioned living entity thinks. Of course, Chitraketu Maharaj is a Mahabhagavad, but through this Leela, Lord is giving us instruction. The conditioned soul develops so many ideas that this will give me happiness. So when he got the benediction, okay, you will have a son who will be Harsha Shoka, he will be great source of great joy and distress. So he adjusted the idea. Oh, distress means maybe because my son will be misbehaved son, therefore he'll be bad. Okay, that's okay. Better to have son than misbehaved son than no son. The blind uncle is better than no uncle, right? That was his idea. But actually, the result happened is when he had the fulfillment of that desire, he got the son. So actually I remember when one time I was reading this Leela of Chitraketu Maharaj in one of the holy places called Subramaniam. Anyone has been to Subramaniam? So Subramaniam is a place of Lord Kartikeya. There's a beautiful temple of Kartikeya there, which was established by Madhvacharya. Okay, so Madhvacharya established many demigod worship temples, but the unique thing he did is, whenever he established some demigod worship temple, he established a Vishnu deity there. So everything in the temple is actually first offered to the Vishnu and then taken to the demigods. So in this Subramaniam temple also, there is the deity of Lord Narsimhadev, which is worshipped by Madhva Vaishnavas, Madhva Sannyasis generally. So everything that is cooked in the temple is first offered to this Narsimha deity and then taken to Subramaniam Swami, Kartikeya. So I was sitting in the courtyard of the temple and reading this Chitraketu Maharaj Leela that time. And I saw people early in the morning coming, and there's a pond in front of temple. They will take the dip, along with their clothes, they will take the dip in the pond. And they come in front of the temple, and the temple has a big courtyard. The temple is actually very huge, and around the temple there's a big courtyard. And the courtyard tiles are, how in India they have rough tiles. So those rough tiles are there. I'm describing all of this because it has some context. Okay. So this rough tiles courtyard is there. People come, take dip early in the morning in the lake, wet clothes, they come, they lie down doing dandavats in front of the deities. And then they start doing rolling parikrama. They roll on the ground throughout the temple courtyard. And floor is rough. So by the time they finish, many of the people have a lot of cuts over the body. So I got inquisitive. They are taking so much trouble, so much cuts on the body. So I asked one person, why they are doing it? Why they are doing parikrama? So he said, if you do one parikrama around the temple, one of your cherished desire will be fulfilled. I said, to hell with it. If I go through this entire ordeal and only one desire will be fulfilled, if it said all the desires will be fulfilled, then I'll go. Probably I'll also do. Only one desire will be fulfilled. When I was reading this pastime, I could relate. Chitraketu Maharaj had millions of wives, right? He had how many? 10 million wives? So each wife can be compared with a desire. Okay? So he had millions of wives, millions of desires. Only one desire was fulfilled by the mercy of Angira Muni. So when he had the fulfillment of the desires, other desires did not let him enjoy that desire. Right? So that's the nature of this world. When we have fulfillment of one desire, other desires will choke you. No, fulfill my desire also, fulfill this desire also. Work on for this desire, So, a person who borrows or takes the wisdom from the scriptures understand that any desire I may try to fulfill will actually make me miserable at the end. Any material desire I work for, it will eventually make me miserable. No. And that is no exception allowed. Everyone, every case, no matter who you are, even if you are Lord Brahma, if you have some material desire, the fulfillment of the desire will only bring misery. No exceptions allowed to that. Because that is our nature. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We cannot be happy being separate from Krishna. So, hearing the wisdom from the scriptures on regular basis, slowly and gradually arises the good intelligence in the living entity and helps him to come out of this vismriti or forgetfulness appearing to be the nectar. So gradually the living entity starts perceiving that actually this forgetfulness of Krishna is actually a poison why I am suffering in this world. But it happens gradually. It doesn't happen overnight. But the process is the same sadhana bhakti that we do, hearing and chanting Krishna's glories and hearing the wisdom from the scriptures. One time Srila Prabhupada was giving lecture. This is in 70s, It's not the early moment, but 70s, mid 70s. Prabhupada was giving one lecture. So in the lecture, he spoke almost 30 times. You are not this body, you are spirit soul. You are not this body, you are spirit soul. So one devotee asked question, Prabhupada, you must have told thousands of times by now, you are not this body, you are spirit soul. Why you keep repeating? Prabhupada said, thousands of times I have told, you still don't understand. Therefore I keep repeating. And that's true. The living entity, that idea that we are not this body, we are actually spirit soul, we are part of Krishna, doesn't sink so easily because we are conditioned for millions of births. But sincere and vigorous practice of Krishna consciousness actually reverses the situation. So what we perceive right now as nectar, we can actually see it's a poison. And what we consider poison now, we actually start realizing the nectarian effect of that. Hope that makes sense. Hare Krishna. So I think, yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the amazing class. The reflection is, you remember, you spoke about association. So in the association that we stay, that kind of maybe drives our desires, and in our practical world, that I definitely see it's so important because we, knowingly or unknowingly, we can go in different associations, but yeah, it's important to keep our association. I just take that. Yeah. Thank you.
That's so true. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you mentioned about dancing as one of the important angas, limbs of bhakti. And since we are also heading out for kirtan shortly, I just wanted to ask, what aspect of that pleases the Lord? Is it that we are not dancing whimsically and we are dancing for His pleasure? Why is it that dancing pleases the Lord so much?
Dancing in the kirtan, I don't see any other kind of consciousness will creep in. If the kirtan is going on and you are dancing, that is perfect. Even if you are not able to pay attention fully, if you are hearing the kirtan and dancing, that is perfect. We don't have to worry too much. And slowly and gradually, when our meditation and our remembrance of Krishna becomes profound, then our dancing actually becomes very graceful. Very well. So we'll stop here? Or we have? Okay, then. Any other reflections? Yes, Shri Kumar Prabhu. Oh, sorry. Achyut Kumar Prabhu, sorry.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful nectarian class. It's mixed with so many kathas and so many insights. You started with the Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa verse and how nicely you explained that. Today I also learned that we cannot control our remembrance as well as forgetfulness. But the only thing we can do is desire. And after that, in the Q&A and sessions, you said that, the desires is like ocean, and even if you connect all the pipes and motors in this whole world, you cannot empty the ocean. And the only thing that can empty the ocean is the holy name. So that's a very key takeaway. And also dancing in the kirtans. So Prabhu, because again, this is a big ocean, the desires is a big ocean. And one more takeaway that came from today's class is, we don't want to become like monists and impersonalists where we wanted to achieve for complete perfection of freeing ourselves from all the desires. So desires will definitely be there. Now putting it all together, Prabhu, so once we have, you also said that we should be okay, even if I'm dirty, I want to just become Krishna conscious. That should be our consciousness. So there were so many key points. It answered a lot of my questions. It's such a wonderful class. And I was listening to His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu's class recently, and he indicated that, if you come across a person, each time you meet that person, you will definitely be elevated in your consciousness. And I've seen that consistently from you, Prabhu. So we request you to please, give more classes and enlighten us. Thank you so much.
It's actually, I'm just taking the remnants of what I have heard from Guru and all the wonderful Vaishnavas. So when you were talking about purification or contamination, that reminded me one of the incidents. Many years ago, when I used to live in Mumbai, we used to conduct stress management seminars in different corporates, in different companies. So I remember one time I was conducting stress management seminar in, there was some company called Jindal Strips. That was somewhere in Maharashtra. So there were almost like 150 high officers of that corporate. They were attending that seminar. And that seminar was almost like 8 hours, from morning 9 to evening 5. So, if I'm speaking for long hours, naturally you need water. So I asked them, please bring me some water. Okay. So they brought the water and the glass, especially in India, sometimes the cleanliness is not so good. So they brought the glass, which was dirty from inside. I could see. But I'm thirsty now, so I need water. So I didn't care for dirty and all. I just drank the water, And, they kept bringing water in the same dirty glass I was drinking. So that reminds me of the dirty and clean. Now you see, when you're talking about serving Krishna, of course, Krishna is not in need of our service, but when you're offering service to Krishna, our heart may be unclean. Okay? Our heart may be polluted like this dirty glass. But Krishna will still be pleased by our service, even if the glass is dirty. Rather than you just spend your whole life cleaning the glass and Krishna says, give me water. No, wait, glass is dirty. Let me clean the glass. So that is not very much appreciated. Therefore, Prabhupada said, even a neophyte devotee in our Krishna consciousness is better than the best of the yogis. Those who are trying to attain their liberation or personal, redemption from this material existence. Even a neophyte devotee is much, much better than such a yogi. So, yes, contamination is just a matter of flip. Krishna can clear all the contamination within a moment. All we need to just continue doing service. Hari.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I think, yes, Prabhu, go ahead. You can stop here.
So, Shankarananda Prabhu, thank you so much for coming to ISV to give your association and valuable insights from your learning and serving for last 30 years. And you drove all the way to Sacramento to just come and give us this wonderful knowledge. So we just thank you by saying loudly, Haribol. Haribol! 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 And since we have the desire to see you come back again, may that desire remind you again and again so that you can come back. Hare Krishna. We will keep reminding you because we have the desire in our heart.
So thank you so much for considering me for engaging in the service of all the wonderful Vaishnavas here. I'm really grateful to all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Sriman Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhade Bhagwan ki, Jai Gaura Premanandi.
So in about 4 minutes we'll have the arti. So if we can efficiently remove the mats and keep it and make the dance floor ready as Vaishish Prabhu says. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
thoughts might come in, but Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachadya Deshatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Nitaye Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitaye Gaura Hari Bol. राधा मदन मोहन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय शरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की। कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. We welcome you all to the Sunday Feast Festival here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We are so pleased to see a large turnout here today. So let's give a big round of applause to everyone who has joined us tonight here. Hari Bol. We would also like to join all our online viewers as well. So let's give them a big round of applause as well. Hari Bol. Today's discourse and Krishna Katha on the topic of Remembrance, Smriti, is brought to us by His Grace Shankarananda Prabhu, who drove here from Sacramento. So let's express our gratitude and thank him for an excellent discourse tonight. Hari 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 Bol. We'll also like to thank His Grace Nityananda Rai Prabhu for leading the arti. So let's give him a big round of applause. Mataji's name? Bhaktin Jini Mataji for leading the Narsimha Arti. So let's give her a big round of applause as well. Hare Hare. We'll also like to take an opportunity to thank our broadcasting team who broadcasts the program, and this has been viewed all over the world. So let's express our gratitude and thank him, His Grace Charunimai Prabhu, for bringing the broadcast team. And also Ramananda Saka Prabhu. Hare Hare Bol. Anyone coming here for the first time? Thank you. Thank you. We have a good number of devotees who are coming here for the first time. We have 3 days a week program here. Wednesday evening is a online class. Saturday morning, which starts at 6:15 a.m., goes all the way till 10:30 a.m., and then the Sunday 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. So if you have any questions or if you like us to be of any assistance, please reach out to me. My name is Sri Gopal Das or Hansapriya Mataji right there. We would be happy to assist you in any way we can. Hare Krishna. So let's chant one Mahamantra for all the newcomers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have few sponsors for tonight's feast. We'd like to acknowledge them one by one. The first one is the anonymous donor. They are sponsoring on the occasion of, actually in anticipation of a new arrival to their family, which is going to happen in June. And they are seeking blessings from Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So let's pray for the new arrival and thank them for their sponsorship. Let's chant one Mahamantra for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our next sponsor is Aparjita Bhatt. She is sponsoring on the occasion of their first wedding anniversary. Is Aparjita Bhatt here? I saw her. Okay, please, if you can, please come in the front. We'd like to acknowledge, and we have some Mahaprasad for you. Please, both of you, please come. And in the meanwhile, I will announce the third sponsor, and they will be get ready to come here. Vikas Chabra Prabhu, along with their son, Yatharth and Arjun, are sponsoring on the occasion of Vikas and Yatharth and Arjun's mother's birthday. Her name is Sunita Chabra. So please be ready to come after the other sponsor. Hare Krishna. Aparjita Mataji and what is Janil Prabhu. Thank you for sponsoring tonight's feast, and we wish you all the auspiciousness in your family. Hare Krishna. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we just want all your blessings so that we may have a wonderfully blessed and successful married life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jatin, would you like to say something? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is Sunita Mataji here? Okay. She's coming? Okay. So anyways, so we will make some few announcements while she's coming. She's here? Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Vikas Prabhu and Yathat and Arjun for sponsoring on Mataji's birthday. So thank you. And we see you a few times, during the week, and you've been coming regularly. Thank you for sponsoring the feast. Would you like to say a few words?
No, actually, we moved to Sandamon during pandemic, so we are not coming that often, but we hope that we'll be coming more often. Also, we are thankful to Krishna for all the things that he gave, and also thankful to this community also for making us part of this community. And wishing Sunita lots of good health, good wishes for her good health. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji.
She does not like surprises.
Okay. So, today is a very auspicious day of Ekadashi. So, I hope you are all fasting, right? So, no feast today. Okay, rain or shine, we always have a feast here. No matter it rains or shine, we always have a program on Sunday, and we always have a prasadam. So we would like to thank the cooks, and we will have Riti going to announce the cooks and acknowledge them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Today's cooking was led by SJSU students, arranged by Ananga Gopika Mataji. So the cooks were Nilachal Chandra Mataji, Devi Kumari Mataji, Paris Mataji, Sahiti Mataji, Himanshi Mataji, Sanya Mataji and her mom, Shilpa Mataji, Sonal Mataji, Utkarsh Prabhu, Sri Ranga Prabhu, Abhinanda Prabhu, Dadya Seva Prabhu, and Hari Sankirtan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And we have some announcement from Hanspriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So as many of you might be aware that on the 22nd of August, there is a Ram Mandir inauguration happening in Ayodhya. So January. Sorry, I'm already past. So are we? No, I'm planning that month, so that's why. Okay. So are we all excited for that? How many of you are excited? Say Jai Shri Ram. All right. So we are not very far from Ayodhya because we're going to make Ayodhya here, right? Are we going to create the mood here? So in order to celebrate the inauguration, we were thinking to have on Saturday do the temple maha cleaning. Are you aware that lots of temples are having maha cleaning done? Yes? Yes, around the India, and so we're going to also follow the same here. So if you're not going on book distribution, you're very welcome to come here on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., okay? Between 10 and 10:30, you should be here. So we're going to be having a temple maha cleanup. That's including sheds, the pujari rooms, the kitchen, the parking lot, the altar, everything, okay? So those who are not going on books, where will you be? At the temple on Saturday, the 20th of January, okay? So that's not this coming Saturday, the Saturday after that. And on the 22nd, that is 21st. So on the Sunday, the 21st, we will have programs here, and we'll be announcing soon. We're just doing the fine tuning. So we'll be having most likely kirtan throughout the day, before the Sunday Feast program, and after the Sunday Feast program, if mercy flows, we'll have Vaisheshika Prabhu lead us into the kirtan as well, and Ram Katha. So it's going to be wonderful Rama Kirtan, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan, Ram Katha, followed by another Kirtan, okay? So it's going to be full day of Kirtan is going to happen, and we're going to celebrate coming together. Are you all excited? Yes. Where is Jai Shri Ram then? Jai Shri Ram. Wonderful. Also, if you need any help in the beginning of the year, if you would like to pledge for the monthly donation, we have Suryakund Prabhu somewhere and Hari Sankirtan Prabhu. Please connect with them. And if you have pledged the books, donation, so please, there is an e-hundi there. And I saw Malini is around as well, and there's a book table outside, so you can put your pledges. And next Sunday, we're going to have the MSF offering, right? Is that right? Okay. So we are all going to be here next Sunday. It's going to be Maha feast done by the Sankirtan team as well. So hopefully, is that right, SKP? No? Okay, we'll have the feast some point for sure. Hare Krishna.
Just to clarify, we will have some feast, but not the Sankirtan feast. The Sankirtan feast will be announced. And for all the Sankirtan leaders and the devotees, please report your scores as soon as possible. So Sunday 14th will be the MSF offering. When we say MSF, it's monthly Sankirtan festival where devotees go all throughout the year, and especially during the December marathon, they go out and distribute the Srila Prabhupada books. So we will have an offering to Srila Prabhupada for the December marathon as well as the whole year Sankirtan scores. So please do report ASAP all the scores for the Sankirtan. Hare Krishna. So now we will go to Malini. You have some announcement? Okay. Okay, so I think there is some confusion, but we will let you know the Sankirtan feast. Okay, meditate on it. Hopefully it happens on next Sunday. Okay. So now we will go for Prasad Sevya prayers. For the youth team, anyone? Okay, Avantika is going to lead into Prasad Sevya prayers. Can you please pass on this mic behind?
Sharira Vidyaja Jodendriya Tarika Vivekane Vishaya Sagore Tamade Jivayati Lobamai Sudharmati
Please come take prashadam. It will be served in the picnic area.